Shalom. This week we are going to read Parashat Kedoshim. It is particularly important parasha. In fact, Rashi said, because it started the Ber Kol Adat Ben Israel B'Amarta Alehem Kedoshim Tehiyu Kikadoshani, that talked to the Jewish people Behaker, with all the people together. And Rashi said that Parashazo Behakel, that it is everyone was gathered together because Rob Gufei Torah Tluim Ba, that it has major principles of the Torah. They are in this parasha. For example, Ve'abta l'ra'acha kamocha, love your friend like yourself. Rabbi Akiva said this is major principle in the Torah. Lo ta'asu avel b'mishpat, lo ta'ashok zachir ani ve'ebyon. Many of the Anyan Arayot, Anyan don't worship idols. So many of the major important mitzvot are in Parashat Kedoshim. That's why it should be done behakel. In fact, the real mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem and Halul Hashem is in next parasha, in Parashat Emor. Ve'lo t'halul Shem kodshi ve'nikdashi b'torch b'nei Yisrael, that do not desecrate my name, and you shall ta'aseh kedushat Hashem, to sanctify the name of God. It is coming in the next parasha. However, because I'm going to because it part of the major principle of this parasha is business behavior. I'm going to talk about this issue in this parasha. And in this parasha it says, after he talked about a few issues, how to be, to respect Shabbat, Kibud Av Va'em, respecting the father and mother, that we have to leave a corner for the poor so everyone will benefit from our products, that we should not cheat others, and that we should pay the workers on time, and then lo ta'asu avel b'mishpat, you don't play with the judgment. So I'm going to talk about that to integrate Kiddush Hashem in our daily work. And in fact, that is something that that kind of intrigued me a lot. We do know that the Talmud Torah Kenet Kulam, that if somebody studies Torah, is like he did all the mitzvot. It is Mishnah that we say every morning in our prayer. So now, if somebody goes to has a store, or if he is a plumber, or if he is whatever, lawyer or doctor, I mean, how can he justify that? I mean, I am jealous for the people who can study Torah all day long. So what somebody like a physician like me can justify not studying Torah all day long? I believe that the consolation is that if we can do Kiddush Hashem during our daily life, this is also major issue. Major mitzvah. And how do you know it is major mitzvah? We can know from the punishment of Halul Hashem lahefech chas v'shalom. We do know that when somebody does commit Halul Hashem, teshuvah is not enough. He has to go through teshuvah and isurim, that he has to have hard time, and Yom Kippur and Mita, until he dies, then his avon will be forgiven. In fact, Rabbi Akiva says that even Mita does not. He said that avon Halul Hashem does not get washed out at all forever. So we can see here how important it is. However, many of the Mefarshim say that if somebody does Halul Hashem, the desecration of the name of God, the neutralization of that avon is to do a lot of Kiddush Hashem. If somebody does a lot of that, then his avon is mechupar. Just like Hafez Hayim say in his books, that if somebody cheated a lot of people, somebody had a store and he used to cheat a lot, overcharge, not telling them the truth, and then he wanted to do teshuvah. He can't. It's impossible to give restitution to everyone that he cheated. He said he will do something good for the public good, and that will be his kapara. In fact, when I was in Radin in Belarus, there is a well, a red well. It is brand new, well maintained, that they call it the Be'er Hafetz Haim, the well of the Hafetz Haim. And he said that he built it because they didn't have current water in every house. If everyone wants to drink water or to do something, he can use that well for his kapara, and probably never had gezel b'chlal. They say that ربان بجزل معطان بعرايات وكلان بلاشون الرا. So the majority of the people do have gezel in their hands. Probably Hafez Haim did not have with his saintly characters. Still, he was worried that he might have, and he built a well. So now so just like that he'll do the refuah, the neutralization of Kiddush Hashem, is to do a lot of Kiddush Hashem. So how can we do it in the business place? If somebody sells shmata, how can you do that? Really a lot. I read the article in the Ethics Imperative written by his Wharton graduate. His name is Yossi Heber. He categorized it very nicely. He said that the first and most is that we should go out of the way to be nice to people, and probably the most important ones are the employee of that person, and it can't go enough. We can't emphasize that enough. And part of that, of course, to say thank you, to say please, to say I appreciate it, to always say good job and do it again, and that is without saying it will be mentioned. However, the job of to do real Kiddush Hashem is to bring the best out of people. And if somebody has good potential, to discover those potentials, to polish them, to grow them, and then they will remember you. In our organization, and I'm really terribly sorry to mention myself and my organization a few times, but it is Adam Karob La'atzmo. This is what I know the best. For example, we had few medical assistants. These are like they take blood pressure, they record this. Many of them now, in fact, almost all of them, they went into nursing home from nursing school. They went to nurse practitioner. So they went from like $12 an hour job to $100,000 job. And they deserve that. Because they are wonderful people. Here and after that, I don't know if they will stay with me. If they don't, that's perfectly fine. We always find replacement. But here, when they grow older, they will remember that a Jewish person, and we can't escape that fact that he brought the best out of them, and there is Kiddush Hashem in that aspect. The other thing is, like for example, also another example, we teach them also personal financial planning. And they get inspired. Some of them, in fact, one of the employees got inspired. Within a month, she bought a house because she realized that I don't want to pay the mortgage of my landlord. I'll pay my own mortgage and then own something. They will remember you and they will say thank you. Even if they didn't say thank you, we should feel, we never say that for our personal benefit. If we remember that we are doing Kiddush Hashem in that, it will become more genuine, and then we do mitzvot all day long. We have an infinite opportunity to do mitzvot Kiddush Hashem. The other thing is we have to be expert in our field. That physician has to be very good. Lawyer, anything, even in business, how to conduct it, the logistics, customer satisfaction. If we do that, there is Kiddush Hashem in that aspect. And I have two stories that really touched me from the beginning of my practice. In the mid-90s, I did have a person who was 70 years old. He came to me from another pain management physician. He said he wants me to give him injection in his knee because 30 years ago, there is Dr. Goldberg in Philadelphia gave him cortisone shot and it lasted until now. So at that time he was young, maybe, and he expected me, because we have the same religion, it seems to be, that he expects me to have the same results on him. So here it shows you that there is that Dr. Goldberg, probably I'm sure his pathology, his problem is different, but he did tremendous Kiddush Hashem, and he inspired me that now he's looking at me to give him pain relief. I have to do my best to do that. The other thing is, also in the beginning of my pain management practice, I had a lady, she was in her 70s. This is 22 years ago, and she was in her 70s, and she told me that her grandfather told her that if she has any medical problem or legal issue, to go to Jewish doctor and Jewish lawyers, because they are honest and they know their stuff. So now that will put significant responsibility on those professionals to be very good in their field. And if we do that, then there is element of Kiddush Hashem, that we know our stuff. Like, for example, how proud we are when they talk about Einstein and his contribution to science and physics. How proud we are with Milton Friedman, the guy, who was Nobel laureate in economics. Incidentally, I want to mention something cute, that in this parasha in Kedoshim we say that that they came to ask Hillel how to be a Jew with one sentence, al regel ahat. He told them, what you don't like for yourself, don't do it to the others. So they asked Milton Friedman, who was professor of economics at the University of Chicago, after he became Nobel laureate, they asked him, tell us really what's economic in one sentence, and his answer was, there is no free lunch. That's the whole idea of economics. So we will go back to our subject. Now the other thing is, in our religious practice, we have to be consistent, meaning that we don't do that only when it is convenient. If we don't go out on Friday night, but however, if there is a boss that is marrying his daughter, or he's on his third marriage, and we need him for progress in the corporation, that we go on Leil Shabbat. We're not going to Hallel anything. We're going to stay in hotel, but Shabbat, Leil Shabbat doesn't exist. But we're going to go to try to befriend him. This is inconsistency. It will be detected immediately, and there is mishum halul Hashem in that area. When we are being looked on as if somebody who practices Judaism, who is from, that we have to be very consistent, and we have to be, normal, meaning that I don't wear kippah during work. Some people do wear kippah, but doesn't mean that they shouldn't mingle to worry about Mary's daughter and Julie's boyfriend. It is okay to go to baseball game with the staff, as long as it doesn't interfere with our religious observance. It is perfectly okay. In fact, that brings Kiddush Hashem, that you know what, these people are integrating Kiddush Hashem in their daily life to the largest extent. The other thing is that we have to, when we can. The other thing is, we should make sure that people enjoy being around us. And this is major thing, because in Pirkei Avot it says, Kol sheruach habriyot noha imenu, that anyone that people like him, it means that Hashem like him. And there is no, we always say, are we good in the eye of Hashem? We have to gauge how people look at us. If they like us, it means for sure he's right. So we have to do everything possible that people do like us and respect us. That we are principled people. We are the people of the book. We go by the Torah, and this is the biggest Kiddush Hashem. And the being nice and friendly does not be restricted only to the workplace. It can happen really anywhere. And again, I'm sorry that I'm talking about myself. I was taking a flight from Chicago to Newark. It was Motzai Shabbat, 10:30 flight p.m. And we went there to the airport right after Shabbat. They say that the flight is going to be delayed. And every half an hour they announce that there is another delay of half an hour. Around 12 o'clock they say to the passenger of such and such flight, the flight is cancelled. And they explain, not because they emergency, some staff did not show up to man the flight. So, and they say go to such and such desk to rebook. We went there, and there was a middle-aged lady. Her name happened to be Bonnie. It is on her name tag. And it happened that it was her first day on the job. First day. In fact, I remember when she was checking on the computer, she didn't know her password. She was looking up and down her with eyeglasses, and people almost killed her. They were angry, they were upset, they had plans. Anyway, I told them, you know what, guy, let's give her a break. She's doing her best. It is her first day. It's okay. I went ahead to tell them that in Hebrew there is saying that any delay is really for the better. So the important thing is to get home safely, and we will manage. There is no question, we will manage. Immediately it did change the whole attitude. They said that, you know what, we should give her a break. She is really trying. We can't kill her. She didn't cancel the flight. She's trying to help us. We have to be nice to her. 180 degrees. And then I went on. It was, as I said before, it was probably at that 1 o'clock. So I took flight that is at 6, which means that I have to wake up at 4 o'clock. They arranged hotel rooms to some of the passengers, and then they run out. They say you have to sleep in a cabs in the airport. So I told them, you know what? There was a couple. I told them, if you want, take my room, because it doesn't pay for me to go to the hotel. By the time I get there, half an hour each way, I would rather stay here. They said, are you sure? I am sure. And so they took it. The next day, this is the important thing. The next day, as I mentioned, I took the 6 o'clock flight in the morning, and in the front, in the first class, there was a big guy, and he did tell me, he said, sir, I want to tell you that what you mentioned yesterday, that all delays are for good, is absolutely correct. When I called my wife that the flight is cancelled, she was very happy. We live in the Poconos, and it was raining very much, and I do know that in Newark also it was raining. It was very foggy, and it was hills up and down, and my wife was very scared to come all the way to Newark airport to pick me up. It's a couple of hours flight. She was extremely happy that the flight was cancelled. So you are 100% right. And so here we can say that with something very minimal, there was significant Kiddush Hashem. It costs me nothing, and add that life is okay. It can go on with meaning, with principle, and this is really good Kiddush Hashem. I'm sure that each one of us, even without looking, we have million opportunity to do Kiddush Hashem, and if we know how valuable this mitzvah is, we cannot just make it pass by. So in summary, Kiddush Hashem, we go to business every day, to make a living. However, adding the element of Kiddush Hashem, it will uplift it, it will make it holy, it will make all our endeavors worthwhile. Shabbat Shalom.